Welcome back again to the day 3 of the Aerospace and Defense Supplier Summit Seattle. And I'm bringing to you more good information. I hope that you've been enjoying the interviews that we've been doing. And now I have an interview with an important aspect of this region. And really what that is, it's looking at the state of Washington and the activities and things which are focused on promoting aviation aerospace within the Pacific Northwest. And so I have an interview guest with me here today that I'd like to introduce to you. And could you just tell them who you are and what do you do, please?
Sure. It would be my pleasure. My name is Robin Toth, and I'm the director of the aerospace sector for Washington State.
Excellent. Yeah, and then what? So you said you're the director of the aerospace sector for Washington State. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's dig into that a little bit more. So, what is the actual organization? Do you actually work for the state, or is it like a supporting organization?
No, I work for the state of Washington, appointed by the governor. We have sector leads in all of our key industries, and we work to bring more business to Washington State, help business grow. We work with our legislators on policy development, and in addition, we work with all of our educational system to ensure that our aerospace workers are the best educated in the world.
Well, obviously, it's an important aspect of the state. I saw the governor was here yesterday, right? To stop by. So it must be enough on his agenda to stop by and see how things are going.
Yes, he's very active in all the sectors, and he ensures that he's getting the most current information that he needs in order to help make policy decisions for our workforce and our industries.
Perfect. State of Washington, for those of you watching, we have people all around the world which watch this. So state of Washington is in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States, and it's a very important part of aviation aerospace. Can you tell people why the Pacific Northwest is really an important area or region of aviation aerospace?
Yeah, it's my pleasure. The first flights on homemade airplane kits were done here in the Pacific Northwest. There were people that came before, but Mr. Bill Boeing was the one who really set the standard for aircraft manufacture here. So we're very fortunate that he had chosen Washington as his home. And we've had 105 years of manufacturing the top line aircraft, for whether it's commercial aircraft or defense and military, and now we're kind of moving into other areas that include spacecraft.
Yeah, amazing history of aviation aerospace. I mean, last night we were at the Seattle Museum of Flight, and they moved or they relocated the original building, but the original building there is at Boeing Field, where Boeing, the original wooden aircraft were manufactured. And it's very interesting to go there. There's a lot of airplanes hanging from there. And if you saw the videos that we did last night, there's a lot of really neat airplanes there. I really enjoy going there if people ever get a chance. But there's such a rich history. And in this region, there's aerospace manufacturers all around this area supporting Boeing and SpaceX and many different companies that are up in this region up here. What are some of the big space companies that are growing up in this region?
Well, we have historically had spacecraft manufactured here in Washington State for more than 60 years. Some of the big ones would be Aerojet Rocketdyne.
Yeah.
They had propulsion technologies on the Mars lander. And so as that spacecraft landed on Mars, we were very proud to be part of that mission. And we also have new startups, and you mentioned Blue Origin, which came on into the public eye not that long ago, and they're growing at a very rapid pace. And they just received a contract from Amazon through their Project Kuiper to be able to be the launch vehicle for the next generation of small satellites, small sats.
Well, it's incredible. It's just incredible on how it's such a heavy concentration of aviation aerospace. Now, I know it's important for you to create an atmosphere or an environment for those companies to be able to come here. Can you tell me what the key elements are of creating a positive atmosphere for business coming to this region?
Oh, sure. One of the key things that we really work on is workforce development. So we have fabulous K-12 systems across the state. We have high-level universities, including an aeronautics and astronautics program at the University of Washington. And we have a great community and technical college system with 30-plus locations around Washington State. So we ensure that whether you're in the urban area or the rural area, that students have access to these programs.
Okay, so workforce development, and what do you do around the area of policy and ensuring that the policies of the state support the growth of the business?
Well, we're really listeners in that initially. So we listen to issues that maybe some of the companies would have with trying to grow in certain areas or trying to retain employees. So we work with our legislators as well to ensure that when they're writing policies, many of them have interest in aerospace and aviation, as we work with them to make sure those policies are going to work for the companies as well as for the state. So we want to make sure that the business environment is very friendly, that they have a lot of access to the tools that they need. A lot of states are able to give really large incentives to companies, and so we're trying to stay very competitive and looking at what kinds of policies are going to help our competitive
policies,
advantages.
incentives. I think I heard someone tell me that they had received a grant from the state. There's some grants for small businesses or things like that.
Yes, we during COVID, we actually processed more than $500 million in small grants to keep our communities prospering because they got hit pretty hard during the pandemic. And we also are able to leverage some funds that we have that our legislators helped us accrue, and we use those to help companies either expand or build new buildings or help their workforce. So we have some types of resources that we can tap into. And in fact, we just provided a new propulsion technology. We provided them some funding out of a grant that we use, and they're growing very, very rapidly. So that's the kind of thing that we like to do. We try to get the word out via activities like this.
Yeah. How would somebody access grant funding? Is there a website, or do they reach out to somebody specifically, or where do they start?
Well, the best place to start is at our website. It's commerce, COMMERCE .wa.gov. And on that, they can find out more information about all our sectors, but hopefully if they're in the aviation and aerospace, they'll reach out to me. And I'm kind of that front door for the state for this.
Okay. Well, if they wanted to reach out to you, how do they do that? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn.
And so tell them exactly how to spell your name, or tell them your name so they can reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Sure.
Okay.
My name is Robin, Robin, and the last name is Toth, Toth. And if you search for me on LinkedIn, you'll find me very quickly. There's only a few Robin.
There's only a couple.
Yeah.
She's with the state of Washington. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Let me switch over to another conversation. The organizer of this event, ACI Aerospace, has been very gracious in putting together these kind of events, all over the world. And I see that you, of course, attend this event. And can you tell me why you would attend an event like this? What's the value of attending an event like this for an organization such as the state of Washington?
Well, as we talk, we do business outreach, and we talk to businesses mostly in Washington State. And this platform, the A&DSS, we have been an original sponsor of this, beginning 10 years ago. And you can see where we are. We're right at the front door, right at the front door of the A&DSS. And this is an opportunity for it to expand our outreach. There are international companies that are here that may be selling to Boeing and other aircraft manufacturers, and they're here to learn more about the industry, and we do a lot of outreach to them. So we have more than 100 meetings that were scheduled over 3 days. So we have a big team of folks that are doing that and just making that connection, seeing how we can help companies. Many of them have reached out to us in advance, and so we're very lucky that we have the ability to leverage this type of event to kind of continue to grow our business.
Robin, I think I saw on the website or somewhere, I saw that the state of Washington is also trying to promote international trade, right, as well?
Yes. And we are able to use funding that comes from the U.S. government to help expand our company's ability to export. And so we take them to international air shows, but we also provide them a little bit of funding to help them do that themselves. Because it's, fairly expensive to fly to another country and, stay there while you're attending a show. And we try to leverage the funding that we can enable our companies to do.
I just really think that's extremely friendly to business, Robin. I thank you for doing that. So I just want to tell all of you watching is that this is Robin Toth, and if you're interested in learning how to do business in the state of Washington, or if you're in the state of Washington and would like to learn how to do business internationally or to reach out, she is an amazing resource to be able to help you to do that, number one. And also, when someone starts saying that they have potential grant funding, and there's no guarantees, this isn't financial advice, just like they say, but the half the battle is trying to figure out who to even talk to, all right? And so, Robin is putting herself out there and saying she's a point of contact, for business here in the state of Washington, specifically Aviation Aerospace, and I want to encourage you really to reach out to them. And thank you for being involved in this event. I think it really makes a big difference when the state is supporting an event like this. It really shows that it's significant and it's an important part, of growing this region. And so, for those of you watching, if you are interested in going to an event like this in the future and maybe meeting with people like this, check out the Aerospace and Defense Supplier Summit. And this one is in Seattle, but there are others around the world. They're in Toulouse and other parts of the world as well. So it was great to have a conversation with you today, Robin. I appreciate you taking time in the middle of your busy schedule of 100 meetings and meeting with people. Yeah, it's great. So thanks so much. And we have a few more interviews left today, so just stand by and we'll be able to bring some more really interesting information. I'm hoping that these strategies and tactics are helping you to be successful in your business and that you'll learn from these. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.